Hey YouTube, Joseph Ulmer here, and this morning I'm getting ready to do some work on some firewood. So I've got my DR rapid fire log splitter here in the garage, so hopefully you can see this, and I need to go through and check it out because it's been sitting in the barn for a while and I haven't actually done a video on this, so I'm going to give you guys a brief walk around. I need to check the fluid, the oil levels and everything else. But I also need to tighten these belts. Okay, these are the two drive belts, and this is a kinetic log splitter. You can see this is one of the big flywheels here. There's another one over on this side, and then I don't know how well it'll focus in there, but that is the rack, the gear track that actually splits the wood. Now, to adjust the belts, I'm fighting the sun this morning too. Belt adjustment is fairly simple on this log splitter. You have 4 bolts, 2 on each side under the engine. You loosen these up, and then this bolt at the rear, you basically tighten this bolt up. It slides the engine back, tightens the belts. I've had this splitter for a couple of years now. I've split quite a bit of wood with it. As you can see, you need to go through and air up the tires a little bit. They're a little low. This one does actually have the off-road tires on it, and I bought this one as a refurbished model from DR. Hopefully this is coming through all right. So it has the off-road towing hitch, which I do not like. It gets bound up when you get it. Oops, sorry. It has a tendency to get bound up if you're in rough terrain, get it at angles. So I'm actually going to make a piece where I can convert that to a ball hitch. It's got the little jack stand. You got to get it fairly level when you're operating it. This one, since it was a refurbished model, it came with the table, it came with the hitch, which is not standard equipment, and I got it actually for less than the base model new one, so that was pretty cool. And it came with the same warranty and everything else. I had one issue under warranty, which was for some of the split linkage, which is down in there. I don't know how well. It was bending a bolt, and there was an upgrade for it. I called them, they sent it out, I put it on. It took me like 10 minutes to put it on, not a big deal, but love this thing. It's fast, it'll split what it won't split. For the most part, it'll cut through. That wedge is, as you can see, I mean, that's my thumb, you can see how narrow that wedge is. What doesn't split, it just cuts right through. It'll actually take a log sideways and slice it in half. So anyway, I'm going to get the belts adjusted, get everything checked out, get it full of fuel this morning, and then I will be back and get some video. I'll be back and get some video of this thing while it's running. It has the Subaru engine. It is the 170cc 6 horsepower. This poor little sticker's peeling off a bit, but the thing runs great. It's never given me any trouble getting it started, getting it running. Knock on wood, I say that now, but anyway. So I'm going to go through, check all my fluid levels, get it gassed up, make sure it fires up, get the belts adjusted, and then I'll be back with some action with it splitting a little bit later. So stay tuned for that. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Any questions you have, put them in the comments section, and do me a favor, share this video with people. Please rate it, but share the video with people. That way maybe somebody else can enjoy it and get the word out about my channel a little bit more, try and get my subscriber numbers up some more. So anyway guys, this is, and just so you know, this is not a paid promotion. I did pay full price. I think this splitter cost me $2,400 with shipping. So like I didn't get any price breaks from DR or anything. I went on their website and ordered it and had it shipped to me. So anyway guys, do me a favor, like I said, please subscribe to the channel, stay tuned, we'll get some video of this thing in action here in just a little bit. Okay guys, so we're out here. I've got my little trailer set up, whereas the wood comes off the tray on the splitter, I can run it straight into the trailer. And I'm going to show you how this thing operates. I really do like it. It really works good, even in this bigger wood. And as you can see, this is a red oak tree. It's been down for a while. It's not by any stretch of the imagination green, but I've already split some of it. It's still pretty wet. mean, you can see this one's got a knot here on this side. It had a kind of a fork in it. There's another knot where a limb came off over here. This piece, I cut the knot off there. There's some other knotted pieces. Now it is a little punkier on the outside, but the heart of this tree is actually nice and solid. It'll make some nice good firewood. Now, real quick, I showed you where the belt adjustment on the splitter was earlier. We'll run you through the basics on the controls. This is your split lever. When you pull it forward to split, it does lock in the forward position. When you pull it forward, I'll get this out here where you can see it. That is the rack. The pinion gear is mounted in here. It mounts. I don't know if I can get it. You might be able to see it right down. Let's see if I can zoom in. That's the pinion right there. It's below the rack. And when you pull the split lever, it forces the rack down into the pinion gear, which shoots the plunger outward into the wood. And then there are some large springs underneath the plunger that retract it when it's done. Just like that. Now your engine controls, you got your on-off switch, you've got your throttle, you've got your choke, and you have your fuel shut off. So like I said, this is a Subaru 6 horsepower. Now I will say, it is a double V-belt centrifugal clutch. I don't know how well that's going to show up in there. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit where you got some light still. And this setup actually works really well. This log splitter is extremely fuel efficient. I could split for probably easily 3 to 4 hours or more on one tank of fuel. 3 to 4 hours of runtime on the engine on one tank of fuel. Because the engine, it's not like a hydraulic splitter where the engine is running at load anytime you're running the splitter. Each flywheel weighs 75 pounds. So when those two are spinning, once it gets those up to speed, the engine's not working. It's just coasting along, maintaining the speed of the flywheels. And then the flywheels are what do the work when it actually splits, and the engine just brings them back up to speed when it's done. So I'm going to get the rest of these logs rolled out of here and set up next to the splitter. And then I'm going to have my son, I think I'm going to have him manage the camera while we're splitting, or maybe I'll just set it up on the four-wheeler. I don't know. I may set it up on a little tripod on the four-wheeler. But I may have him manage the camera for me while I'm splitting this stuff. So we'll be back here in a second. Alright guys, so I'm going to fire this thing up here, and we're going to split some of this. Now, a couple of these I did split down with an axe, just to make them a little easier to handle. But the knotty ones, of course, they're not going to split very well with an axe, so you'll get to see how the splitter handles them and how fast it runs. And as always, personal protective equipment. I got my safety glasses on. I've got put my earplugs in, and I got my gloves. Keep your hands out of the way. This thing is fast, so before you hit the split lever, make sure your hands are clear. Make sure your hand isn't on the split lever if you have to push the plunger back in for any reason. Just be safe. And depending on how it goes, you may see you get into a knotty piece, sometimes the plunger will get a little bit, it'll bind up here, and you'll have to actually smack that lever back to get it to release. Okay. Go ahead and get it fired up. Oh, this would help to turn the switch on. All right, guys. You can see how well that works. Some of it, like that last piece I pitched off, was pretty punky, but for the most part, I'll have him bring you over here. You can see these knots. It was splitting through these knots just fine. It pulled apart. And when it won't pull apart, like I showed you, it'll cut through. And you know, this one's a little punky down here, but you can tell that's still a good solid oak right there. So, like I said, guys, unfortunately, DR is not paying me to shoot a video on this wood splitter or anything else. I bought it with my own money, paid for it with my own money. I just really like it. It really works well, and honestly, if I get anything that's too twisted up or knotted up to split with it, then I'll either throw it in a pile for bonfire wood or roll it off to the side and leave it for the bugs. The only thing I've had any issue splitting was some green sycamore, and that stuff was just so stringy and it was spongy. It's not as hard as the oak. It's not as dense as the oak, so it's a little more spongy, and when the plunger hits it, it wants to push into it, and it just doesn't split well. So anyway, like I said before, do me a favor, please comment, rate, subscribe, share the video with your friends. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Right, hit the end button.